Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the predictions and breakdowns. After a week of no UFC, we have UFC 323 Dvalishvili versus Piotr Jan 2, which is taking place on December the 6th, 2025, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're looking at the co-main event as well as a massive title contention with Alexandre Pantoja versus Joshua Van. This is a massive move for Joshua Van, looking to become one of the youngest UFC champions, if not the youngest ever. And we're going to be looking at the entire card, starting off with the early prelims and ending with the main event. Let's get right into it without further ado. We're going to be looking at the early prelim opener, that is Muhammad Naimov versus Marion Santos. Now, the fact that this is the early prelim opener gives me a lot of hope for this card. Also, if you cannot tell, I'm very nasally. I'm very sick. I believe I have COVID. We're trying to work through it here. I'm taking Marion Santos, a legend here. I've taken Con Ofley against him before. I've taken Francis Marshall as well, which I thought Francis Marshall won that fight, in my opinion. He controlled the grappling really well on the ground and did not really allow Santos to perform a whole lot in that second ladder of the fight. He was a little bit gassed, throwing a little bit too heavy, and wasn't really landing the shots that he needed to, in my opinion, to win that fight. Muhammad Naimov got choked up by Felipe Lima from, what is he, Jungle Fight champion or whatever? Let me just double check that because I'm not 100% sure here. No, what? Octagon? Oh, he's Octagon champ. Flying. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Muhammad Naimov, though, he didn't look too bad against Con Ofley. Kind of just controlled him. Bogdangrad could have knocked him out, in my opinion. I mean, Bogdangrad's really chinny. He doesn't really give me a whole lot of hope for Naimov's power. I'm just going with the fact that Marion Santos' boxing is really disgusting. He's been really good in the LFA. He looked really solid inside of his UFC debut. And listen, he looked good in the Ultimate Fighter. He had the skills to come into the UFC. And I see him kind of just using his advantage here with the reach, kind of just beating him up on the outside. Extreme Couture has turned this guy into an absolute animal. Elevation Fight Team, really good camp. Naimov's not really utilizing it in the way I would, in my opinion. Like, he's in Denver, Colorado. You're at Elevation. I would be pushing harder. This guy still gets gassed faster than most guys who don't train at Elevation. So I'm going with Marion Santos. A little bit of a problem with me with Naimov. Kind of falling out of the rankings at this point at featherweight. Doesn't look that good, and the finishes don't come. They're far and few between, if not any. I mean, he's got a couple, but they don't really come inside the UFC. He's got one with Jamie Malarkey, and Jamie Malarkey's a little bit chinny. Next on the prelims, Mansour Abdul Malik versus Antonio Tricoli. Now, if you're not picking Mansour Abdul Malik, I don't really know what you're doing here. We're going with Malik by knockout. It should be in the first round. Antonio Tricoli has looked terrible in the last two fights. Sharo Magomedov took 3 rounds to get him, but he did eventually get him. Mansour Abdul Malik has just a lot more power than Shara. Trejan Gore was able to get him in a standing guillotine because he was really worried about the power. He got cracked early and just ended up in it. And Mansour Abdul Malik here, really strong on the kickboxing side. Really good power. The ground and pound after the knockdowns come really heavy. The strikes against the cage with the wrestling is really good as well. He's got some really good wrestling base. He's got some really good ground and pound. Really follows up the good shots with consistent pressure and doesn't just let the guy sit there and try and move and rest. He's really consistent with moving forward, and that's kind of where he fell flat against Cody Brundage. Ended up in a decision because I believe there was a foul in the third round that could not allow Cody Brundage to continue, and Mansour Abdul Malik was not really dealing enough damage to knock him out at that point. He's probably going to go to a decision, which gave me a little bit of a question mark because Cody Brundage he does have a chin, but he's been cracked before, and Mansour Abdul Malik I thought was going to put him out. Tricoli here, not going to last. Been knocked out in the first round, been choked out in the first round, TKO'd in the second round, TKO'd in the third round. He's getting the trio. He's getting the first round knockout coming up this weekend. I just don't see a way that he makes it out of the first round. And it's understandable that Malik is just going to force a lot of pressure on him and just try and drown him out. Now, next on the prelims, we have Ivo Aslan versus Iwo Baranishki. Barany. I'm just going to go with Barany. I'm going to go with Iwo. Iwo is just really powerful. Chinned... who was it? Muhammad Ali? Yeah, Muhammad Ali inside the Contender Series. Chinned him inside the first round, first 20 seconds. Muhammad looked really good inside of his tape. Looked like he was going to go in there and just fucking torch Iwo. And Iwo just kind of came with a vengeance. Came very flat-footed and then started bouncing around 10 seconds in. I was like, what the fuck? And he just bop and just chinned him. I really couldn't believe it. Muhammad had the reach. He was a lot bigger. Couldn't find it. Literally couldn't find anything. Just got chinned right away, got put out. And I think with Ivo Aslan here, it's going to be very similar. Ivo Aslan got a little cocky in his couple fights coming into the UFC. Knocked out Anton Turkali, knocked out Rafael Sakaria. Both guys are kind of chinny as fuck. Iwo, I haven't seen get cracked yet. He's got a lot of knockouts in the first round. Now, this is very, very similar to what Ivo Oslan has as well. Ivo Oslan's career has kind of gone very similar to Iwo, and I'm just going to go with the fact that Iwo is going to be at the range disadvantage. He's going to probably going to have to close the distance awfully fast, and if Ivo Oslan's what he's kind of been putting up the last 2 fights, where he's not really throwing as much as he should, he really should have been able to knock out Billy Elikana, in my opinion, and I think Iwo here is just going to walk in and just find the good shots. Ivo Oslan swings wide. Iwo has a really good hook. I can see him coming over the top with an elbow even and putting him out. Iwo's got he's got a lot in his arsenal. Polish fighter, they usually have a lot of good MMA bases. I haven't seen a whole lot of his fights, but man, with an amateur record like he has, and the people he's actually beating in amateur, I mean, granted, they're most of them are not going to be that fucking high level, but he's got an 8-0 contender, bro, for a fucking title, who's finishing everybody, by the way, like even now. I'm just saying it. Okay, again, Iwo knockout. Probably round 1. He's going to get it done. Next on the prelims, Edson Barboza versus Jalen Turner. This is not one we have to really think about. Jalen Turner's going to get the knockout in the first round. Edson Barboza's at the end of his career. 39 years of age. Looked like shit against Drakkar Klose. That should have been a fight he easily wins by knockout. Looked like shit against Lerone Murphy. Younger in his day, he probably would have went toe-to-toe with Lerone Murphy. And unfortunately, he's at the point in his career where he's falling apart. This is not the same Edson Barboza that we loved earlier in his career. Jalen Turner's coming in here, 6'3", 75 inches of reach. He's matching Edson Barboza. He's going to be throwing it down on him as well. And he's going to be landing some fucking thudding punches. I'm going to say Edson Barboza gets dropped in the first 2 minutes, and I'm going to say he gets put out in the next minute after that. Jalen Turner's just too powerful. He's got all finishes. He does not like putting it inside the decision whatsoever. He always loses them. He goes out there for a finish. And granted, he did take a little bit of a retirement spree there. Came back, lost to Ignacio Bahamondes, but I guess regained his love for the fight, and he's coming back with a vengeance. He's looking to knock out Edson Barboza, make a statement, and I think he's going to get it here. I'm going to go with Jalen Turner to win by knockout or decision. Take that fucking favorite all day. Next on the prelims, Marvin Vettori versus Bruno Ferreira. We're going with... This is hard for me to say, but I'm going with Bruno Ferreira. Marvin Vettori's at the point in his career where I just don't know what the fuck's going on. I really don't. If I'm being honest with myself, man, you know what? Am I gonna do it? No, I'm not. No, hold on. We're gonna pull back here, guys. Hold on. We're gonna pull back here. Listen, I'm gonna change my pick. I've been saying it. Okay, we're just gonna switch it. Usually, I'm making a red flag here. Red flag. Usually when I switch picks, they lose. Just saying. We're gonna pick Marvin Vettori. I kind of forgot about this. And I'm not going to forget about it. Bruno Ferreira got choked up by Abus Magomedov. Now, Abus Magomedov is a guy who literally has no gas tank. He crumbles every time in the third round. Like, every time. Every time he's in a third round, he doesn't look good at all. Like, ever. Later in stages, like, against Michel Pereira, he looked like shit. Bruno Ferreira looked like shit. Warley Alves, he looked like shit. Kyle Brahalio, he looked like shit. You're in a situation here with Marvin Vettori. Vettori will not back down. This guy will get cracked, and he's okay with that. And he will keep moving forward. He does not have to deal with wrestling. He does not have to deal with a mix-up. He doesn't have to deal with the shit that he doesn't like to count. He kind of just has to deal with his own game here. And I'm going to go with the fact that Marvin Vettori can deal with 1-2 pretty well. He has a chin from Christ. And now I know I picked here Bruno Ferreira decision. I can still see that happening. I'm going to say it's a close decision, 29-28 either way. I'm going to say Marvin Vettori wins, and I'm going to say specifically because of the fact that Bruno Ferreira has no gas tank in the second later of the fight. I'm going to say that Bruno Ferreira goes for a finish, and if he cracks Marvin Vettori, he's going to swing out. Marvin Vettori is going to eat a couple shots, maybe get dropped, get back up, and I think he's going to win. But Vettori, listen, if his chin gets cracked by Bruno Ferreira of all people, I'm going to be a little bit fucking disappointed. Honestly. His chin is getting a little bit weaker. He's taken Whitaker, Izzy, Jared, Delidzie twice, I'm pretty sure. He's taken fucking Brendan Allen. Like, these are just fucking terrible fights, bro. These are fights that you just don't even want to fight. He fought Izzy fucking before, too. Like, these are just fucking terrible fights. And he's getting chinned. He's getting cracked. Give me Vettori. I'm just going to say Vettori. Decision close. Maybe Bruno Ferreira plus 3.5, but I don't know, man. It gives me a lot of worry with the fact that he's gotten submitted by Abus and he's gotten taken up by Ruzaboyev in the first round just super quick. It's a little bit of a question mark for me. Vettori still cracks. Doesn't have a lot of finishes, but he still cracks. Next on the prelims, Faraz Zaim versus, actually, you know what? Maybe Marvin Vettori by submission. Faraz Zaim versus Nazim Sadikov. We're going with Nazim Sadikov. Faraz Zaim got choked out by Terrence McKinney. He's looked good in his last couple fights. Mike Davis is a bit of a question mark fight for me because he didn't really look that good anyway. I had Faraz Zaim to win that fight, and Mike Davis really disappointed me, honestly, as a guy I was betting against. He really disappointed me. He didn't look that good. He didn't show up, and he really should have. He had a fucking split decision with Claudio Puelles. Matt Frevola is shit. Jai Herbert is, down and out at this point. Mikhail Figlak, like, get the fuck out of here. Are you, like, these are your fucking wins. Jamie Malarkey, like, these are just question marks, bro. Nazim Sadikov is a bum, but he figures it out, bro. Like, Nicholas Mota probably pitched a fucking shutout in that first round. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Nicholas Mota pitched a shutout. He looked fantastic in that first round. He cracked Nazim really bad. He had him up against the cage. He was throwing like massive combinations, trying to put him out. Eventually threw himself out, and eventually got stopped to the second round. Ismail Bonfim, crazy head kick, ends up stopping him because he can't fucking see out of the eye anymore. Gets Terrence McKinney after a second round. Like, these are just very good wins for me. I'm going to pick Nazim Sadikov as an underdog. He's a bit at a range disadvantage here, which he's not used to, but he's going to be coming out here with a bit of a fucking tail on his ass, and he's going to be looking for a knockout. He's going to look for Farazim, who's kind of a guy who stands still in kickboxes, and if Nazim Sadikov sits in range with this kid, he will fucking eventually crack him with something. He's got really nasty kickboxing. He's got really nasty kicks. He's got really nasty spinning stuff as well. I can see him eventually hitting him with something up top and just getting him discombobulated and just eventually jumping in for the kill. Give me Nazim Sadikov as an underdog. I think Farazim is still good. He's just at a bit of a point in his career where he hasn't fought anyone at a super high level. This is probably the highest level fight he's had. Here, give me 2 seconds, guys, because I need to blow my nose just to like fucking breathe here. All right, I can actually breathe. Okay, now we can continue on. We have Macy Barber versus Karine Silva next on the prelims. These prelims are ridiculous. We're going to go with Macy Barber here. Now, granted, she had a seizure her last time around. She's supposed to fight Erin Blanchfield. Couldn't get it through. Was not medically cleared to fight. Rose Namajunas as well. Barber had to withdraw. She had fucking like blood cancer and shit she almost died of. Now she comes back to fight Karine Silva. She's looking to make a statement. She's been out of the game for a little bit too long, but I think Karine Silva here is a bit out of her depth. She lost to Viviane Araujo, who just kind of bullied her, and Karine Silva is a girl who kind of like, when she starts to lose, she gets kind of pissed off, and if Viviane Araujo is beating you up, I'm going to say Macy Barber beats the fuck out of you. And I think Macy Barber's got really good boxing. She's got really good mix-up, and her wrestling's pretty solid. Macy Barber's going to own Karine Silva, and I love her as a little bit of a slight favorite here. And the only reason why she's a slight favorite, not a heavy favorite, is because of the 2 years off. Ring rust is real in the UFC, and you can really see it in a lot of fights. But I'm going to say here with Macy Barber, it doesn't really matter. I think this girl's just too good. She truly is the future, in my opinion, at this weight class. She is 27 years of age. She will continue to move forward as long as that cancer does not come back. Unfortunately, it usually does. But all good hopes for Macy, because I'm pretty sure she's cleared. I think she's perfectly healthy, and as long as they keep fucking... Do you listen? The UFC's got crazy shit. They might just inject her with fucking crazy stuff to make her a superhuman. But Karine Silva don't got that shit. Karine Silva don't got that type of fucking... Listen, Barber's fighting for a real future. Barber's fighting for her future. She was almost dead. She had a seizure. She's not giving this one up. Give me Macy Barber with just pure heart. Let's go, baby. Now, next on the prelims, we're getting into some fucking good territory, boys. Terrence McKinney versus Chris Duncan. We're going with Terrence McKinney to win by knockout. Chris Duncan got cracked really fucking bad by Chris Campbell in the Contender Series. Ended up knocking him out with a really, really good right hand over the top. And... ended up getting a contract for it, went to a split decision with Amar Morales. Ashmuz moves on to win against Rebecki, chokes out Vucenic, who's a bit of a fraud. Balaji O'Keefe chokes him out with a guillotine, puts him out cold. Terrence McKinney here, he's been a little bit more measured, okay? And Terrence McKinney, he's got the range, he's got the explosiveness, and he's got the problem to put out the problem. And he fights fire with fire. Chris Duncan does not like that shit. He doesn't like when guys are all up in his face, and he doesn't deal well with it. He usually gets cracked. And if Chris Duncan's getting cracked by Terrence McKinney, the guy who put Matt Frevola out in 7 seconds with a 1-2 because his left hand chunked the kid's fucking chin out, I'm going to say that Terrence McKinney fucking puts him out. I think Chris Duncan's just a little bit in over his head here, bro. I think this is a fight he should not have accepted. I think Terrence McKinney is a fucking red flag for a lot of guys in the division. And I think as long as Terrence McKinney doesn't get to a fucking third round, that second round's still dangerous for McKinney. He's been working on that fucking cardio purely, and he's ready to deal with some problems, bro. Him on the back is a fucking problem. He literally looks like exactly like Manuel Torres on the ground, and I can see Terrence McKinney wrapping up a submission on the ground right away as well. Chris Duncan did not deal well with Manuel Torres on the ground. He got wrapped up way too quick. He got put in that choke really quickly, and he did not have any answer for it. He got put out in less than 2 minutes. I think Terrence McKinney here is in a perfect spot, looking for 3 in a row, and Chris Duncan, he's just not going to get it, bro. I just don't think he's in a position in his career where he's going to be able to be confident with a McKinney in his face. He's not going to be able to be confident with a guy who throws the type of mix-up that McKinney does, even a flying knee up top. Chris Duncan's going to get cracked, bro. He's going to throw his guard high. McKinney will find a way around it. He just does. He has nasty uppercuts, nasty knees, nasty flying knees, nasty spinning shit. He has really good takedowns, really good transitions. And granted, that's all for 7 minutes of the fight, but it's 7 minutes of the fight that he just needs to put you out, and he will. Terrence McKinney as an underdog, let's go. That's all day. Next on the prelims, we have the top of the prelims, Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. Now, if you think I'm picking Grant Dawson, the guy who got chinned by fucking granddaddy Bobby Green, you're fucking mistaken. I'm going with Manuel Torres as an underdog. I think he's just going to walk in and just put Grant Dawson out. After watching the Drew Dober knockout, it really fucking made me realize that Grant Dawson's a little bit at a disadvantage. Manuel Torres does not deal well with rangy fighters. He does not deal well with guys who are on the counter shot. And let me tell you, Grant Dawson is not on a counter shot. He's not Ignacio Bahamondes with fucking infinite reach. And he's not a guy who can strike whatsoever. Grant Dawson has some really good ground and pound. He tries to stand with guys, and when he does, he gets fucking hurt pretty bad. And he really just tries to focus on the wrestling. And if Manuel Torres focuses on a pure takedown defense approach, and he gets away from Grant Dawson just once or twice, and Grant Dawson starts to shoot in, and Manuel Torres hits him with some fucking hammer fist like he did the fucking what's his face there, Drew Dober, I'm gonna say he don't live. I'm gonna say that Grant Dawson gets put out, and I'm gonna say that he gets put out in round 1. I think Manuel Torres is a little bit too dangerous. He's very explosive. He's got all of his fights except for one by first round finish, and I think if he's gonna put in the work, he'll put it in on Grant Dawson. Give me Manuel Torres to get it done under 1.5 rounds. And mop up as an underdog, bro. He'd probably be a plus 210 if he put the under 1.5 rounds there. He probably won't win over 1.5 rounds if Grant Dawson's controlling him. But give me Manuel Torres to just put him out. It's just Dawson's good, not that good. We're gonna start off the main card, boys. Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. Listen, I was thinking Guskov in my head a little bit because Jan's old. Listen, Jan looked really good against Carlos Ulberg, in my opinion. I thought Carlos Ulberg lost. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I know I'm disrespectful. I thought Carlos Ulberg lost that fight. I thought Alex Pereira lost the fight with Jan. I thought Magomed lost the fight with Jan. I thought Jan should be on a 4-fight win streak, in my opinion. Really. Truthfully. And Bogdan Guskov here, will he be able to get in reach? Will he be able to crack Jan Blachowicz, and will he be able to put him out? Possibly, yes. Thiago Santos was able to put him out with some big shots, and Bogdan Guskov is no bitch. He's got fucking straight power, and he's got some absolute hammer fists behind him. I could see this fight going just not the distance. Honestly, I don't want to pick a fighter here. I'm going to pick Jan because I think he's a little bit more complete in a striking sense. I think Jan Blachowicz is going to chew his fucking legs up. He'll go shin to shin with Bogdan 3 times, and Guskov's going to realize that he is in a whole different level of hell because the shin to shin that Jan Blachowicz does, he doesn't give 2 fucks about his shins. He has shins of rock. He just fucking right into your shin. He don't give 2 shits. I'm going to go with the fact that Jan is going to chew his leg up. He will not allow Guskov to get his power foot off anymore after the first 2 minutes. And if he doesn't put Jan out in that first round, Jan's going to win a decision. And if you don't put Jan out in that first round, Jan even might TKO him in the second or third round with leg kicks. I'm going to go with Jan Blachowicz. Probably going to be an underdog by the time the fight starts. I think Bogdan Guskov's good, but not that good. Zach Pauga and Nikita Krylov. Whoop-de-fucking dude. Nikita Krylov looked like shit. He's a bit of a grappler, not a striker. Next on the main card, Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. My head is starting to hurt from this sinus, bro. Hold on. I'm going to take another little blow break here because I need to fucking breathe, I think. Something's happening. Yeah, we're definitely dying here. Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. We're going with Henry Cejudo plus 3.5 if you're on the prediction side. If you're going by who's going to win, I'm going to go with Cejudo. I think he's just more complete than Peyton. Hayoni Barcelos was able to control Peyton on the ground. and Triple C, Olympic Triple C. There's not. Listen, if Henry comes in with even an ounce of anything that he had in his last 2 fights, he will mop the floor at Peyton Talbot. He's fought some fucking dangerous contenders in the last couple fights, okay? Song Yadong fucking shoved his finger right in his eye, couldn't see. Merab Dvalishvili won the first round, lost the next 2. Aljamain Sterling, I thought it was a super, super close fight. I thought he could have won that, honestly. I thought Henry had it. But, again, I'm always biased. Peyton Talbot, though, does he have the knockout capability to put out Henry? No. I don't think he does. I don't think he's Demetrius Johnson. I don't think he's got the knees. I don't think he has the power to chin him. I think Henry's so fucking durable that he's just going to be able to walk through Peyton in all of his shots. And I think realistically, Peyton hasn't really put out any high level contenders yet. I think Henry's going to control him for 2 rounds, maybe give up the third, and just coast to a victory. I think he just wants to get 1 win in before he retires, and I believe this is the retirement fight for Henry Cejudo. He either ends on a win with a prospect or he ends on a loss against a prospect. It is a good way to go out. A little bit sad that he didn't come back earlier. I would have liked to see him in his prime, but it is what it is. I'm going to say that Peyton Talbot loses on Saturday night, and this is a big moment for Henry Cejudo here to get a retirement send-off here in Las Vegas. Now, next on the main card, we have Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. We're going with Brandon Moreno to get it done on the scorecards. I think Tatsuro Taira is good. He focuses on the takedown a little bit too much. He's got good stand-up. He's got really good scrambles as well, but Brandon Moreno is going to match him in those scrambles. He's got really, really good jiu-jitsu, and he's really solid on the feet as well. He's got a bit of a pattern on the feet as well that Tatsuro Taira can probably pick up, but I don't think Taira is focusing too much on that. I think he's focusing more on taking down Moreno and focusing on controlling him, which I don't think he's going to be able to do too well. I think Brandon Moreno's focused on that with Davidson Figueiredo for a lot of his career. He did have multiple fights in the last 5 years where he's focused on pure grappling. Amir Albazi, a pure grappler, did not do too well against Brandon Moreno, got pieced up for 5 rounds, and now you have Tatsuro Taira who's trying to come in and do the same thing. Now, granted, he does a little bit of better striking than Amir Albazi has. He did look pretty good against Hyung-Sung Park, but I'm in a bit of a position here to not really trust him. Brandon Royval was able to beat him up, and he did it pretty well. Won the scrambles there, and Brandon Moreno was able to beat up Brandon Royval as well. I thought he won that fight, but again, close split decision. Brandon Royval is still one of the top flyweights in the world. And now you're looking at Brandon Moreno here against Tatsuro Taira. Very similar fight to Amir Albazi. You're kind of looking at Amir Albazi in a bit of similar Kai Kara France approach, and I think he's just going to be able to just use those kicks, keep Taira on the outside and not be able to allow him to get in. I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno, went on decision, scorecards plus 110. Give me that underdog all day. I think Brandon Moreno's still on track for a title shot, and I think he will get it next. Now, next co-main event of the evening. If you guys did enjoy this so far, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, since my sinuses can't even keep up with it. We have Pantoja against Joshua Van. We're going to go with... Listen, if I want to go with my heart, I'm going to go with Joshua Van. If I'm going to go with my brain and all the statistics and everything I've been teaching myself for the last 3 fucking years, I'm going to go with Alexander Pantoja to win by submission in round 3. And there's just not a chance in the world that Joshua Van can get through the grappling approach of Pantoja. And usually when Van cracks people, they don't really react with anything other than shots back. And let me tell you, Pantoja will shoot in super fucking deep if you crack him. He just does. He just goes on autopilot and just double legs. And it's kind of weird. He goes for a trip or whatever. And he will sit against the cage forever. Pantoja does get cracked though, and that's the thing. That's why my heart's telling me to go with Van, because he gets cracked and he's very vulnerable sometimes. He doesn't really have his hands up all the time, and he gets tired and his hands go down. And Joshua Van doesn't have his hands down ever. He's got pure boxing form, and he looks so fucking beautiful while he's doing it. He looks so crisp, and anything that Brandon Royval got clipped with in that 3rd round, Pantoja is getting knocked the fuck out. But the problem is, will Joshua Van have the ability to throw those type of strikes when he's getting taken down multiple times in the 1st and 2nd round? I don't know. If Pantoja does not get a takedown in the 1st round, live bet the fuck out of Van. Like all of it. All of your money. All of the chips. They go. They just go. It's not 100% that you're going to win. But let me tell you. They all go. All in. Because if Van can stop the takedown, there's nothing Pantoja has for him. There's just nothing. There's not going to be a submission attempt. And that's a fucking problem for Pantoja. He needs something to get him tired. And if it's not that, he's in a bit of a deep shit. So I'm going to go with Pantoja to win by submission round 3 or by, I guess, decision. I'm going to say, if you are watching the fight and you're on the betting side, live bet Joshua Van after the 1st round if he doesn't get taken down. If he's clipping him pretty well, live bet him in the second or third round. If you can bet the KO live, maybe look at that. Because Joshua Van, hedge the KO bet. This guy's always live. He looks really good. Now he's got 5 rounds. He's got a lot more time. He can take himself down, lose a round or 2, come out in the 3 rounds, and beat the fuck out of Pantoja. That's legit too. I don't know how he's going to come out. I don't know what his strategy is going to be, but I can see either side. I'm going to go with Pantoja, though. More likely. Not saying he's going to win. More likely. But I wouldn't be betting that fight, honestly. I'm going to bet probably Van, honestly. I'm going to bet with my heart. The main event of the evening, boys. Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan. A bit of a problem is that in the last 6 months, Merab's had 2 weight cuts. Now, that's a lot for a guy like Merab. A lot. He is handling it quite well, but it will damage his body eventually. And if he's fighting that much at a high-level championship level, he better be on some PEDs, because otherwise he's going to get fucked up. I'm going to go with Merab Dvalishvili to win it by submission or decision. There's not really a chance I see Petr Yan having here. He's a very, very, excuse me, high-level bantamweight. Very high-level bantamweight, but he just doesn't have the ability to stand with Merab in a way that doesn't get him taken down. He just doesn't. He's going to eventually get taken down. Merab will have his way with him, and it will be like any other fight for Merab. Most likely will end up winning on a decision. He even has a reach advantage. He'll just out-jab. He'll just piece up Petr Yan. He'll make it an event. Unfortunately, probably won't be too fun to watch, but it will be a good fight nonetheless. Yeah, it's pretty easy here, though. There's not a whole lot to talk about. Petr just doesn't have the wrestling defense. He's going to get pieced up. Sean O'Malley beat him up. Merab beat him up already. It's just going to be a repeat, boys. Repeat is a repeat. If they fought once, it's probably going to happen again. Usually 70% of the time, the winner of the first one does win the second one. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you did enjoy. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. This was the predictions and breakdowns for UFC 323. Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan 2. I will see you guys all for the live on Saturday. Have a fantastic rest of your week, boys. Peace.